it's just able to cover the retreat. You've kind of got some other heroes that are able to do so as well. Shadowfiend's one of the few carries that doesn't particularly mind about being doomed, depending on the items he does have. So we'll see what Saberlight's able to do. I mean, this is one of the best offlaners right now. Vanguard is an incredible build-up for him as... So hold that thought. What's going on in the river? Crit? They got the glimpse back before the last stuff. So it looks like we will have our first blood picked up pretty early on here for TSpirit. And it's going to be Bamboshka that finds a reward.
I thought I saw
great little pickoff. Didn't even need his little blood grenade. I love the addition to blood grenade. Seeing all these like supports in side lanes pick up this item. It's a fun little item.
It seems incredibly strong right now. It just does so much damage. For how much gold you spend on it, it gives you a little bit of health as well. And actually, once again, we got another tri-lane potentially. Okay, never mind. He's drifting now.
Taurus is dead though.
Oh, okay, well they're all.
There's your tri-lane.
Never mind. I didn't see Fly here as well. So, all right, Shopify. No, they're able to even it on. Like it's the easy kill onto your Toro.
It was like kind of a tri-lane. It's not like Crit really did a whole lot. He didn't like he came in and poked for the last hit, but he didn't blast off or anything.
And Collapses started with a ring of health here from the Underlord. So, all right.
Wow.
Do you? He's obviously under the read that they do not have the potential to kill him. Maybe it's going to take a couple of goes, and that's where the HP region's able to come into play. Would you kind of agree with his assessment?
Yeah, this is like I agree. I like coming to lane with a starting item ring of health. Just it feels nice if you don't need that little bit of extra stats if they don't have the burst. And I think generally speaking, Sven doesn't really have that much damage early on. Like the Stormhammer is nice, but level 1, it's not enough to really get kills.
What an offlane meta we're starting to build up with every hero going Vanguard. Seems
yeah,
very interesting.
Feels like a bit of a throw. I mean, that was like 4 or 5 years ago. I feel like was also a Vanguard meta. So maybe Ice Frog's getting a bit nostalgic, bringing back lots of old abilities as shard upgrades and stuff. And he's like, all right, let's create the Vanguard meta.
Oh, I don't know how it didn't get nerfed enough in 7.33b. The letter patch up is... I mean, even just in general 7.33, because we were seeing towards the end of the last patch that this item was really starting to get very popular. So it's nice because it's going to help protect you against a lot of the rotations from the twin gates. It can enable the supports again to rotate. Like that's something we harped on a lot in that previous series. So how active the supports are going to be able to get with their offlane is being pretty self-sufficient.
Yeah. It just disassembles into so many nice things, or if you want like a Crimson Guard, you can get it. It's such a versatile item. Well, does mean, Collapse is going to have a pretty free offlane once he picks that one up. But at the same time, not a whole lot they can do to really stop RTZ from getting his farm in this lane.
Meanwhile, top lane, bit of back and forth. Maposhka might actually be in some trouble though. And the Shrak's going to be able to hold them down. Yatoro's getting a decent amount of damage into Saberlight. They still got some Jingus to work with as well. And as a result, Yatoro should be able to easily bring down the Doom. So nicely done. They're going to be able to get back here with that previous death.
Yeah, great little bait. Really nice Boundless Strike. Just, placing it where he knew the Doom was going to be walking, saving his Disruptor, setting up the kill. Just great execution there from TSpirit.
The Lotus, my friend. Nice. With the kill heavy lane that we might have top, that extra little bit of health and mana could definitely pay off. And
oh yeah, the Lotus is a really fun addition to these side lanes because especially the even ones, you really want to fight over them.
Whoa, Fly's up top as well. They might not even need him for the kill, but Poshka, well, Fly will yoink it, why not?
Yeah.
Or 3 here, so even just 1 point of Crystal Nova's plenty. And they know that Arteezy is going to be under no threat down bottom.
Yeah, I love it. We didn't see much like early Twin Gate usage in the last series between Tundra and Spirit. Already Fly's just like, all right, coming top. Let's make a move. CM one of the perfect heroes, I think, to make these early rotations. With the double nuke, the Frostbite, Crystal Nova, you've just got so much kill threat.
Yeah, making a go onto crit. Kinetic Field just going to be off the mark. With 2 points in Scorched Earth, they've got to respect some of the damage from Saberlight, and well, that's where the glimpse is able to come into play. So they'll send him away from this engagement. Fly's still here, though. Moving pretty slow with the Crystal Maiden. Need to up the movement speed, but she'll be able to get in range nonetheless. And with the slow Maposhka, should end up going
He's got boots,
down.
though.
All right, actually, hang on a second. Now Mira's even going to TP up top as well. So with the extra spam with the Shadow Poison, They'll get the kill onto crit him. There's no fight back for Saberlight. This Scorched Earth is still on cooldown, so they might just go for the easy target and fly. Second point up the glimpses are available. Miposhka gets in range, and another support goes down, and might be able to bring Miposhka into the grave with him. Not to be, though. Of course, we've got to mention, though, I mean, Arteezy died bottom lane, and he's ganking mid, though. This is an early rotation out of the Sven mid lane, but all of a sudden, he pops out of nowhere. I mean, La wasn't expecting it. So the Shadow Fiend caught with his pants down, and Shopify Rebellion, they make a good move out of the Sven.
Definitely, you're not expecting the one position Sven to gank, but damage isn't done here. Saberlight going to go down top. The classic Miposhka Disruptor just finding kill after kill for the team. A lot of early movement, a lot of early aggression. You kind of call it like, this early game could be pretty explosive.
They might just kill the Shadow Fiend again. They're still gearing up for Lal. He's in a lot of trouble. They're going to aggressively glyph the wave as well. Well, he needs some TPs to come out of ASAP. And I mean, Yatoro's going to try and get there, but the Monkey King, TPs to the T2 tower. He's going to be too late. And off the back of the kill, Abed's got 6, so he can probably turn on Yatoro. He's got a lot of mana to work with, along with the range drop. He's looking to play his distance zone. As soon as the Jingrus are found for Yatoro, you see the respect is there.
Wants a 6-minute rune. It's spawned top, unfortunately, so he's going to walk a bit further for it, so can't come back in for the kill. He's got the rune.
Well, now, yeah, he's definitely going to go crit nearby to be able to pump the damage with the mines. And man, what's going on with these one rotation? I mean, Arteezy's works. This time Yatoro's doesn't.
Yeah, I think Yatoro needs to see that one coming. You know the Storm's gotten the rune. He went bottom, and then they're controlling the top rune. So wherever the rune spawned, Storm has it. Yeah, Arcane Rune's probably the best one to get that kill, but Haste Rune, even a Regen Rune also gets him the kill. So just a bit too greedy sticking around mid lane there. And great job by Abed to punish this mid lane, get an early T1 tower. The back-to-back kills in SF is crippling Laurel's game. When you die, TP back in and instantly die again, your game can just be completely over or ruined by that.
This is a hero that really snowballs. It doesn't matter if you're a right click or the previous kind of magic build. I mean, the Shadow Fiend hero just needs to be the one that has a couple of item advantage, and well, he's going to be all the way back inside his jungle, and meanwhile, Crit and Miposhka battling out for the Wisdom Room. It is Crit that's able to snipe it, of course. He's going to go down in the end, but you probably... I mean, I guess Miposhka got solo experience. It probably doesn't matter too much.
Yeah, I think it's probably a pretty slightly even trade there in some ways. Hero.
Okay, to the Big Doom. Look for a TP out. There's a level in the Infernal Blade, though, so minus 100 gold as well for Mira. There's a high five as well, so easy kill for Mr. Saberlight to find. That's going to get it. Oh, is it? Scorched Earth is actually out.
Light coming in for the kill secure. Nice. CM Dream.
Oh, cool. What is 13 kills? Aiming us in? What's going on? I mean, the big winner has collapsed. This dude is untouched down bottom.
He is, but he hasn't put that much pressure on the tower. Like, yeah, he's unkillable. He's, just going to sit here and completely free farm, but at some point you really want to try and take this bottom tier 1 tower. Spend one of these heroes that, has plenty of sustain and ability to just, clear the wave out, keep the tower alive. If it's just an Underlord alone, you're not really in too much danger. The danger is when these rotations start happening.
Top lane, Yatoro? That happened before he got the Wukong's command, and now Abed is going to be enabled. He doesn't have to fear of anything at all. So another kill onto Yatoro. This Monkey King's game is continuing to be ruined.
Yeah. Abed Storm, there's a reason Bulba loves to pick this hero for Shopify and always has. They just play around it so well. Such a good hero for creating space for the rest of the team, enabling some of these greedier offlane picks like the Doom for Saberlight, and they're going to not just get the T1 mid tower, but make them move and look to get a second T1 tower up top now.
How do you reset on Spirit? Like, what are we looking for them over the next couple of minutes where they can actually maybe try and hit back in this game? Because it seems like with all the movement, Shopify just ahead of them.
I mean, I think Dota 101 is like play around your strongest hero, which is obviously the Underlord right now. So I think sending supports to go play around him, or he needs to go join up with his team. That's exactly what he's doing top. Yep.
Trying to lift onto Mr. Saberlight, who turns around with the Doom, using it onto Collapso. So, I mean, the Underlord is perfectly okay, and Saberlight's still going to go down. They're setting up bottom, though. Maybe anticipating them to go through the rift.
Coming back?
No one does.
He cancelled.
So.
He thought about going back, but that would have been his own death.
And now they get fly as well. Glimpse back thanks to Maposhka. So another kill to add to the tally here from TSpirit. A great movement from them. And I mean, you caught it, Parker, trying to play around the Underlord. And they use... Are they going to get fly? No, come on. You got to get it.
They should have, but... bit awkward. Yeah. Like, it's the things I think he knows he should not have lived there, but gets away with his life somehow.
Look at this roaming duo here, Abed and Crit. Crit's already got a Veil completed, so he's going to further buff up the damage in the Storm, and anyone they catch out there, Dad, it's just going to be way too much damage between the two. And what a perfect angle for the wraparound as well. They've got a double damage rune to utilize. Easy kill onto the Shadow Demon. They're going to be able to chase down the Poshka as well. He's still on cooldown for a little bit. It won't even matter. With all the heroes that are in the neighborhood for Shopify Rebellion, going to be a secondary kill onto the support.
This is just the beauty of having, won this mid lane and controlling, like, a lot of the river, is that Storm's getting every power rune right now, it feels. He's, making these early rotations and, like you say, buffed up damage with a Veil. This Storm just, like, is two-shotting these supports, it feels like. Playing very active. They TP down bottom. Not sure Collapse is reading this one. They've still got double damage on Storm for a couple seconds.
TC nearby as well. I mean, they're even going to drop the freezing field. Why not? Every single spell they need. Be able to bring down with a bit, Lord. And Collapse that. That's really that big hero. That's off to a good start from Spirit. So to slow him down, make this early game much easier. They're going to try and glimpse back into the Requiem play. Let's see if they'll have the damage between Lyle. I mean, lands a couple of raises, but the Frostbite's going to hold them down. TZ will still tick out to the Shadow Poison, but now Lyle, he may have stepped a little bit too far forward, but the bombs are flying out. We'll try and get some distance back to the tower. Abed, with his remaining mana, can zip on forward. Another big kill onto Lyle's SF, and now with the rest of the supports, they're scrambling away. Until the glimpse is going to be there. Sableye deep under the tier 1 tower. Collapse should be able to get a return kill, and especially with Yotaro leaping to the middle. They're not even done. All right, a Fiendscape trying to block off the path. They should be able to catch up to Fly. Maybe? Glimpse up surely. Do they have the vision? They do. All right, they'll drag him back. Looks like Spirit going to be able to add another kill, and probably with everyone nearby, they'll also get the tier 1 tower. In fact, Crit, he's been caught out. He's going to be able to follow up the Shadow. TZ's back here as well.
Oh, boy.
Double stun. Turns for the God's Strength, for the kinetic field. Holds him in place. That's a huge boundless. Yotaro gets all the life steal he needs to stand strong. But now you got a different beast. Abed glimpsed away. He'll still get the kill. I've got no idea what the hell is going on down bottom, but seems like Spirit going to be pretty happy with the trades.
This Scott's like 5v5 in the bottom lane. I think Abed's happy to get glimpsed away. He was out of mana and just got sent back mid to keep farming, get a refill on his bottle by Fly, so... one of those fights I'm just like, who would have won it? Gotta open the team fight recap, and yeah, Spirit with like a 700 gold gain from that. It was 2 for 3. But yeah, big kills. They killed the RTZ Sven. I think that's kind of the most notable thing that kind of happens there. Just slowing down his farm and 9 progression. When you look at the net worth here, it is 2 Spirit heroes sitting on top with the Underlord and the Monkey King currently leading. So it does feel like Spirit in a pretty good spot as far as just how they've kind of farmed and prioritized certain heroes here.
I mean, Yotaro's 7-4-3. So even though he's only got 68 losses, he just got rewarded with multiple kills throughout the past couple of minutes. And I think for Shopify, they just smoked under a ward. So Spirit, if they want, they can look to dodge or they can look to set up. Collapse is maybe looking for the bait. He's got the pipe ready, so it'll be much more survivable than prior. The full wraparound from Fly, trying to catch out anyone on the back line. Oh no, where are they? Do you see anyone? Right, there's the bait. Collapse.
He's found the Poshka.
A bit aggressively, but he's away from the Poshka. Yeah, it looks like they're just trying to retreat. That's not a fight they want to take, and all they'll get is Fly in the end.
Good job just to cut their kind of losses. I think they realized quickly Spirit's bringing 5 as they showed bottom lane. Like, that was the big takeaways. Like, Spirit's like, okay, we can't play this greedy style, you know? Like, they kept getting punished because Monkey King was trying to farm on the map. You know,
Monkey?
Yeah, he just needs to keep joining 5. This is a nice pickup.
Whoa, will they get it? Nice cut down. His vision? Okay, they got him. All right, never mind. I didn't know they saw him. Sableye glimpse back, and he'll make him work for it, though, in the end. Maybe the Mirror's Purge is going to help out Yotaro. They're even going to turn around with the Doom. The TP's They're starting to come in. A long zip from Abed to try and target down Yatori's Monkey King. They should be able to find the kill with Disruption. It's going to buy him some momentary breathing room, but it's just not enough. Saberlight will still go down in the end, but what a worthwhile sacrifice with them able to find 3 kills inside the jungle.
Yeah, just wasted so much of their time with his just general survivability. Gets the doom off on the monkey, and Abed, that's not an easy ball lightning to land. You kind of have to predict their movement when you're balling in from so far. To get all that damage on the Monkey King flying in was huge. So a great sacrifice as Shopify get a really nice 3-for-1 trade.
And another big thing is Arteezy wasn't involved in that, so he skyrocketed himself ahead of the Monkey King, just been flash farming both the Ancients up top, level 13 here for the Sven, highest level in the game, and he's going to be going for the BKB next item as well.
Yeah, I think that's a big difference between the two carries. Like, Sven kind of wants his team to be taking pickoffs and winning fights without him while he farms. Monkey King needs to be involved. Like, he's itemizing to be more of a fighting carry, but I think that's just like how he should be playing this game and has been doing a great job. Like you mentioned, he recovered because he just came to all these fights, got a bunch of kills. Like he dies there, but like I think that's a death you have to be okay with if you're Spirit. Like obviously that wasn't a good fight. That's not what you want to see have happen, but they've got the right idea, which is just playing on the enemy side of the map, playing aggressive.
I'm going to look for a play as well on Spirit. They've got the Fiend's Gate as well to potentially connect with a +1. Crit's going to be able to spy out this smoke in the mid lane though, so it looks like Shopify will be aware of something going on.
Easy narrowly avoids a lot of heroes who are kind of closing in on his position, and he's just back to farming. Finds himself, probably loving the new patch. You've got more Ancients to farm, more neutrals to farm, and heroes like Sven maybe gonna start looking really good on this new patch with all the extra gold to collect.
See if they actually try and mount a defense mid lane though of Shopify off the back of some of the gold they've been able to find. Get some nice items just completed. Mechanism for crit. They will not try and mount a defense, so Spirit able to open up the map. They do spy out a couple heroes bottom as well, so instantly they're going to try and sweep down. Fine Abed holding hands together. They've got a pretty decent ward as well for Shopify to fight with.
See if they can get that catch. They're fishing. Oh. They need that vision for a glimpse.
That is hub. Alright, back to base we go.
I think if you're Shopify, you kind of know Spirit's in like this. Okay, we just got BKB on Monkey. We want to just 5-man force team fights. I think they're more interested in just dodging these fights for now. Like, they want to get a bit tankier, get a bit more farmed. Have Sven finish BKB. Doom's almost got Solar Crest. Like, they're not like they're waiting on any big items, like maybe other than the BKB on Sven, but it's more just like, you don't really want to find the Spirit right now, because they are very keen on 5-manning.
They're doing a pretty good job at the moment to be able to avoid some of the fights. We had a very action-packed early game, but this one slowed down a little bit. Both sides trying to find their farm, work towards these next set of items. They could even be considering about a Roche. Or are they going to rift bottom? What's the call?
Bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's probably a little risky with where some of these dire heroes on the map, but we'll see. They're near that Twin Gate to get up there. And yeah, they've been scanned here, so they know what's going on. Easy still to try and expedite, but here come Team Spirit. They want to contest this.
Can they with the gate, though? They're grouping up on Collapse's location, but Roche is falling incredibly fast. Roche is going to try and find an angle for the static storm. The lay down the wood comes, but look at the quick damage. Arteezy just rips them apart. Age is picked up from Abed as well in this fight. Maybe Yatoro's able to come. The root comes, giving them a lot of control inside the fight. Law's going to try and find the angle for the Requiem as well. They'll get the fear for the damage. It's just too early, and Abed zipping back and forth, left and right, trying to juke and drive. The Shadow Fiend should end up going down. Saberlight, he'll tank up the Force, and in the end, I mean, Spirit was a hell of a play to potentially turn around with the Wukongs, but it just was not enough. The second life coming in clutch for Shopify Rebellion, and they should be able to find the Poshka hiding out in the tree line as well.
Wow, what an insane fight. Like, just complete balls of steel from Shopify to go for that Roshan, and then for Spirit to just be like, we're just going to Dark Rift right on top of the entire 5-man enemy team. The fact they didn't have Freezing Field, they already used it for Roche was huge. It was a lot of damage that Shopify just kind of lacked a little bit there. But that was like a meat grinder. They just got cleaved up by the Sven until all of a sudden, Monkey King started life stealing with the Wukongs. SF was on the high ground just right-clicking away, so if they show up like a second sooner and get there before Storm gets Aegis, they just win that fight.
Mira's hunting Saber bottom.
Zip.
Both sides are starting to TP some members in. Looks like Abed's going to be the first one to connect, and that kind of off the mark. He'll look to reset. So, Parker, but now after that big fight, what the hell do we have in store for us? It feels like, is the game going to continue to slow down? Do we get another crazy fight like that coming up shortly?
It was like all this build up for first Roshan. Roshan happens and they lose Aegis during the fight, so it's like, okay, so is it next Rosh or? Yeah, I think both teams will play more of that, farming efficiency game. You're gonna see, TZ farming his triangle, the double ancient, Saberlights, he's playing Doom, wants to kind of keep farming as well. The pressure is much more on Spirit, I think, to force these plays. So I think we could see Spirit go for some kind of 3-4-man smoke, use the Dark Rift to kind of connect as well. Because they're the ones who maybe want to force some action.
Alright.
Yeah, first things first, Tormentors.
Yep, get the Tormentors up. We just saw Shopify take their own. I think that was given over to CM, and now you've got one on Mira as well. So let's see what's a Cleanse able to do this game. Pretty nice versus Crystal Maiden. Not a whole lot you're able to look to utilize with
Yeah.
Radiant are scared.
It's like an okay cleanse game. It's like not doing it's not doing anything like incredible that you're like, oh wow, just that's gonna make this hero's life miserable. But it's it's solid. Like there's disables, there's slows that you feel pretty good about, protecting your teammate from.
Or this Clifford, they're well aware of the monkey's positioning. They're gonna see tipping the uppers is what Yatora's not gonna react though. It's a potential bait, but the banishment, it stops the blast off damage. Can he activate the BKB? Yatora's gonna be able to stand strong, tries to turn to Abed. The remaining Menon's gonna be able to get him out of danger. Arteezy's gonna have some difficulty with running inside the Wukongs. That's where the Raccoon's able to come into play to send them away, but Spirit, they used a lot early on inside the team fight, and now Arteezy has nothing to fear with the BKB activated. He's going to be able to chunk down low. Shattered Fiend, no concerns at all. The Shopify, they baited out the first round of spells, and they could easily go back in afterwards, as they'll even catch up to collapse at the mouth of the pit.
Yeah. Great recognition that, initially it looked like they did a good job baiting the Storm in with the Sag Storm, but Storm is just so damn tanky with the Cayenne Sange and doesn't actually go down there. Plus they had the heroes rotating in, taking that fight near the Twin Gate. They had, I think it was Arteezy and his Sven just kind of teeping in from top lane, so it looked like Shopify only had 2 heroes there, but then all of a sudden there's all 5 are there. So they did a good job recognizing and utilizing the different tools on the map to make sure they could get there and take a 5v5 fight.
I'm looking at either side and seeing all the mitigation they've got. You have this Crimson and Solar Crest on Saber. You've got the Warcry, of course. Mech on Crit as well, I believe. Then you take a look at Dire. You've got the Atrophy Aura. Collapse has gone into auras as well. So it just seems like both sides have this crazy mitigation inside some of the engagements. And I wonder if that's where potential nullifiers need to come into play. Again, Mira has the Banishment as well, so... Oh, sorry, I should say the Purge. So, that needs to be really a vital thing that it gets off inside the fights to enable their damage.
There's the mitigation and the sustain with Monkey King and Sven having lifesteal. They got him.
Enough time to hit down. Look at the damage from Abed. All the right click sakes to the DD. If they got the detection though, Yatoru able to slip away into the tree line, jumps down as well, back inside the base. They're not going to be able to get the kill, but they can turn their attention over some of the other members. Arteezy's completely isolated though, and as a result, Spirit, they'll be able to find the Sven, and there's going to be a +1 as well as Abed limps back. Gonna be able to fresh him up a little bit with the TP out. Stuns. A little bit late there from Yatoru, so all they get is Arteezy in the end. A great retreat out of the Monkey King. They were fast enough to keep Yatoru alive.
Yeah, it's one of those fights where I'm sure people are like Arteezy lol, and like he's completely in the middle of 4 heroes, but it's not his fault. He's alone there in the middle of enemy heroes. His entire team just dove this Monkey King. you know, thinking they could kill him. It's great if they kill the Monkey King there, but Yatoro escapes, uses that Monkey King tree dance elusiveness to get away, and as a result, Arteezy's just been left alone. He's getting kited by Demonic Purge, by disruptions. He can't finish off any of these kills. I think Shopify made a mistake there of just not sticking by their Sven, and you know, he's a lot of their damage. Like, once you don't kill the Monkey King, just chill, stick by your Sven. Try find another pick off around him, because anybody, you know, he needs his teammates to lock people down. He needs the Frostbite, he needs the Storm. You can't just go run away from him to go try and get a maybe kill. And for Arteezy's item build next up, he's actually got a Nullify queued up as well for him. So we were speaking about the power that Spirit, what this item can do for them. I mean, for Arteezy as well, it's going to be really huge to potentially help man fight the Monkey King in particular, to get rid of some of the Jingu stacks. I think is really the big thing that he's looking for. But of course, the auras as well from the Underlord. Yeah, it's a big pickup here, and just, yeah, it just feels like, you know, in these fights, a lot of, you know, as good as Sven can be at chewing through heroes with his physical damage, like, there is a decent amount of damage just being blocked with Crimson Guard, with Atrophy Aura. So it is a nice kind of single target damage item that helps make a lot of these heroes just that little bit more killable.
And they're setting up on Yatoro's top plate. They see to treat Yatoro. Saber, he was still able to pop the BKB. Arteezy's going to try and fly him, but here comes the reinforcements off the back of the Fiend's Gate. They won't be fast enough to keep this monkey alive. Arteezy's still in a lot of trouble, though. Static Storm lay it down. It even clips Abed, but it's not going to matter. The damage, it's just not there without the Monkey King and our Spirit. It's an all-out retreat. Collapse will not escape. I don't think the supports are going to escape either. Saber should have to blink up in a couple of seconds, but the kinetic field slow them down nonetheless. So Shopify once again able to just edge out the trade.
Yeah, the glimpse back on Abed kept the supports alive, but the damage was already done. He's getting that jump on the Monkey King. You know, you can see what the dude brings to the table here. Even against a hero like Monkey King, you just want to stop him getting off his Wukongs, getting off, you know, his, whatever, his items. I guess he did get BKB off there, but whatever you can do to just make sure you get a Doom on someone here. You don't really care even if it's a Monkey King or an SF. You just got to find a target and doom them.
This is really interesting. I wonder if Techies is going to rise in popularity just because of this control over the Twins game. I mean, we see Crit is starting to set up some of the proximity mines, and we've got Roche up in a couple of seconds as well. So I don't know how good the Scepter is as well, but just, you know, thinking of extra control in like these choke point areas, because we know how important the gate section is, and along with Roche. So it's not going to be easy for Spirit to be able to contest this now.
I really like it. Like, this, it's so hard to, yeah, like you say, playing around this Roshan just feels damn near impossible. They've got the mines, they've got the Observer Wards, they know they've dewarded Spirit's Vision, so, you know, they may get swept out, like if Spirit bring 5 heroes up here, but you can always use that to force a fight, especially once Doom is back up. You know, if they come to deward it, you've got that Blink Doom, but they're going to have to wait for it. All goes in.
He's out of range.
Yep.
They might think there's no Observer, and it's going to catch him off guard as Saberlight. He finds the initiation with a Static Storm. It's going to be there before the Doom. It doesn't matter though. Arteezy cleans up the backline. Mira will be able to escape under the cover of the night. Crit's going to look for the finishing blow. Lala's still trying to charge up the Requiem, but the ultimates don't really provide them anything on Spirit. Arteezy again! Another double stun from the Sen. He'll turn now to Yatoro as well. The Monkey King, the sole survivor, but not for long. Arteezy is dancing in front of Yatoro, and Abed, he'll be rewarded with the ultra kill. What a team fight once again from Shopify around the pit.
Playing around Vision, like, this is, you know, again, Dota 101, like, you know, you got ward somewhere on the high ground, you take that fight. Like, the reason, you know, Arteezy looks amazing that fight, but the reason he can jump the backline, stun 2 heroes, cleave through 3, is because they see them. They have a ward there, they see everybody on Spirit in their positioning, so it's a very, you know, straightforward initiation, and you can win a fight. They had no Doom. They just take that fight, just, you know, off of Arteezy getting a blink stun on like 2 or 3 heroes, and Abed following it up.
Dude, that's so sad for Spirit. If they watch the replay back, they'll see how close that sentry was to the Obs. And who knows how different that fight would have been. Who knows how different that fight would have been if they actually killed the Observer to start. Like, that's... Oh, come on.
Yeah. You've got to, I mean, we're seeing this be a pretty common ward spot, though. I think you need those sentries to cover, like, the entire high ground by the Twin Gate, so... I think definitely something, you know, obviously new patch, like teams and players are still learning, and you know, it makes sense that they'd want the Observer on the right side of the output of the gate, but such a small thing, but such a big impact on this game.
Because, I mean, we see the net worth lead is just blown wide out here for Shopify. 13,000 lead, Abed with the second life. You've got the cheese on crit as well. And of course, we saw Spirit in that previous game with the Disruptor and Naga combo. Miposhka went into the Static Storm, well, the Scepter. And Miposhka this game, he's opted for the Solar Crescent. Well, speaking about him, should be an easy kill for Abed, but it does, because the previous game we had the opportunity to speak about, like for Spirit, you could potentially scale with the Storm and actually hold that thought. Abed again, another long zip in. He's out of mana. We've got some backup. They're just going to completely obliterate Lol Shadow Fiend. No chance for him to stay alive.
He's just going through the rift. He's like, where's this Underlord? I'll find him. Collapse used the rift to try and come help out, but unfortunately Arteezy doesn't find him in the trees.
It's a Monkey ultimate expender. Crit might not even die with the Halberd. He's still got creeps as well, and Shopify, they can easily connect. A Glimmer's going to be able to help the Monkey escape. I'll get a glimpse of him afterwards, and that's where Abed instantly comes into play. A Static Storm to help protect him for the moment. Arteezy's forced to sidestep that. Simultaneously, Saberlight is just chasing down Mirror. The Shadow Demon should be caught outside the base, and so Abed will be able to get the finishing blow. Meanwhile, Crit also goes down in size. So
deep.
Yeah, just a little deep. Nothing too crazy, though.
Blasts off into the enemy high ground. You know, he's feeling himself. He sees where this game's going. He's like, oh, Abed, he's like 16, 0, and 10. Like, I want to get in on the fun. But, yeah, you know, he's a tech. He may have a similar kind of mobility spell, but he doesn't have the same kind of survivability as Storm.
Here I am.
Speaking of Storm, he's got another goddamn arcane rune for Abed, so level 20, he's ready to go once again. I think they might be gearing up for Smoke Fly's got a couple in the backpack. Anything they're waiting for potential? Tormentors there actually from Shopify. The question I was trying to lead up to before was, do you like the Solar Crest decision from Miposhka? Because the previous game, 2 vs Tundra, that Scepter route, it potentially gives you this clutch late game factor where he could, if he finds the right ultimate, he could just win the fight for them.
Yep. I mean, I would say definitely the Scepter is a higher impact item, but I think he just feels all these fights are happening now, and I need an item now. Like, it's a big jump to try and, like, he'd have basically a point booster, like, he'd have 3/4 of an axe for all these fights, which effectively is having nothing, so he'd rather just buy an item he can have. You know, the downside is this axe gets slowed down now, but I do still think we are going to be seeing this Aghanim Scepter. It's just a lot of late game value, yeah. And we'll see if he starts buying those pieces.
It seems like a lot of the players have this read that this Solar Crest is a pretty strong item right now. I mean, we've already seen it in a couple games so far today that we've casted. I know it's on some of the other streams I've seen this item as well. So I mean, it got buffed pretty heavily, and we'll continue to see over the group stages and once we reach the playoffs truly how strong this item is. But the players feel like it's in a great position right now.
These right-clicking carries, there's just so much damage you get out of it. Speaking of damage, a lot of damage being thrown into Miposhka, just the support, but even alive.
Speaking of some of the Scepter Zone, Mirror actually just completed his. He had that Philosopher's Zone as well. Let's see what he's going to be able to do with it. It did get nerfed, I believe, a little bit. I think the charges, went down from 3 to 2.
Yeah, having the cleanse and the purge with double charges.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
What do we need to look for differently, though, in Spirit inside some of the team fights? You know, from what we've seen go right for Shopify, how can Spirit look to kind of fix some of the issues previously?
I think the biggest thing is, like, Storm's going to jump your supports and probably get a kill or two and just cause problems. I don't think you have a good answer for that, but you do have an answer for the Sven, like, particularly in the Shadow Demon. Like, this Aghanim Scepter, now you've got 2 demonic purges. You can really time, like, you can't be letting Arteezy get these, like, blink Stormhammer and jumps on the backlines where he's cleaving through 2 or 3 heroes. You need to make it so that he blinks in, can only go on 1 hero, and then as soon as he blinks stuns that hero, he's getting demonic purge, and that hero's, you know, surviving with the help of Shadow Demon saves. Like, I think Mirror is the key hero in these fights.
A gift from the
and he's got to avoid the storm, which is a hard task, but he's going to make sure that this Sven doesn't do damage in fights.
Well, it seems like the supports then need a lot of items. You'd potentially love a gem to help with your positioning, just to get rid of some of the vision on the map, but I mean, Mira needs a blink as well to help out, and of course we've spoken about Miposhka wanting this scepter as well, so they're going to have to do it without that extra vision advantage. That Shopify have done a great job so far with their wards across the map.
We'll see how aggressive Shopify want to play. They've still got a cheese, but no Roshan for a couple of minutes here, and they seem content just to play the farming game. You know, Octarine on Doom, they are grouping up, maybe looking for a smoke here. And Sven getting pretty close to 6 slotted here now with Nullifier Satanic, so it does seem like it's go time for Shopify.
Abed's not gonna... Oh, actually, you probably can purge off that shield rune, so... See how difficult it's going to be to address him inside some of the fights. He can just easily jump the supports now with that extra protection. As besides, they're trailing each other. Shopify going to have the high ground, though, potentially. This could be disastrous for Spirit. In order to avoid, they may have got a glimpse of them, though. I think they did. Arteezy pinged down the poster. Zipping him. We spoke about the supports. They needed to not be caught off first. Abed's got a mana, though, so it's a bit of an issue.
Hurricane, at this point, like, Disruptor has buyback, so if they overcommit to kill a Disruptor here, Poach can always buy back as long as the fight's happening near a tower. I think that could be a, potential win condition for Spirit, is, having someone like Miposhka play that sacrificial 5, be the bait, set up a good fight, buy back, and come back in to use all his spells.
This is a big opportunity. They see Arteezy under the ward and crit as well, but a little bit separate right now. One fight they might potentially take where they have an visit advantage, but Fly's going to look to get rid of it straight away. Might go down as a result to this. Sableye with a jump in, they get the Doom. Mira's going to be able to protect him from it again. Dude, Arteezy, another double stun. But they will give them some space to look to reposition, but the control comes out for the Wukong's command as well. They can look to group up inside this, and as a result, they'll probably get the storms through it as well. Great glimpse back into the static storm, and the call from them, which is to all position around the Wukongs, recognizing how difficult it would be for Shopify to still fight into that, even though there was a large deficit.
Yeah, they seem to have no issues with that fight. They were just ready, grouped up as a team. Arteezy got a pretty good jump there with the blink stun, but they just had all the tools to kind of. They used both purges, they used both cleanses, and we're kind of reaching this point where, SF will pretty easily outscale a Sven just because of the kiting factor. Being a ranged carry against this Sven, it gives you a huge advantage in these late game fights.
That one fight was a 2,600 gold swing. What?
Whew. When you're down like 14k, I'm okay with that. Like, they won that fight convincingly. Like, they killed...
Oh, he was gold black. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, exactly. Abed was like, what, 2k gold? Just 2k gold is just killing Abed. Because he, 1,000...
Radiant
yeah.
I didn't know he had a dive prior to that.
Is under attack.
He was having a hell of a game. I mean, even he still is having a hell of a game, but we're seeing that Spirit have some fight left in them here. They're not going to roll over.
Oh, let's go Rapier queued up. I like this. I like this. It's a big balls play. You need to go for it when you're this far behind, and let's see if they're going to be able to find it, though. And also, prior, these Roche fights have not been working out for them. It looks like one thing different this time is that they will have control of the area before Shopify get
Radiant's
there.
top tower.
They were hoping for like a fast Roshu spawn. Underlord was camping it out, hoping that'd come back, but it's not to be. They're still camping it out, and Shopify just hoping that it hasn't respawned yet and that's not being killed. And unfortunately for them, they're going to get an opportunity to get this smoke wrap around. But they've got to be ready, because you've got to expect that Spirit around that area grouped up as 5.
They are set up first. That is the big thing. Two on the front to pop the smoke. Let's see how we can control the fight off the back of the Wukong's command. They're going to be able to get on the high ground with the Rift. Instantly scouted out, though. They jump in from Sableye, but the Static Storm's going to be there to respond. Charge up the Requiem as well. Sableye's in a lot of trouble. He's going to go down before any spells are casted. He's going to buy back, though, and he's going to look to use it instantly.
They re-engage here.
Rousing the Queen's Fly. He's going to be expended between him and Lal. Meanwhile, Arteezy may have found a window. There's the banishment, the response from Abed. Instantly zipping towards the Shadow Demon. Abed, he'll be able to get Mira out of the team fight. Now they can turn towards the cause as well with no one to protect them. They're just getting ripped apart once again. Shopify. And just what is it with this team and taking fights this game around the Roche pit?
Oh, they're still good around that area. They use the Doom buyback while he TP's bottom to the outpost and then comes in with the Twin Gate. So Really good fight for them. And the key thing is, I think the takeaway from the last fight was, you know, probably our teacher's like, someone like, Abed, you got to go on this Shadow Demon. This Shadow Demon is priority numero uno. Like, ignore every other hero. Like, who cares about this SF? Who cares about the monkey? These carries are not going to carry this game if Shadow Demon is dead. And Abed's entire team fight there was just spent just chasing the Shadow Demon away around and killing him, enabling Arteezy to clean up the rest.
It was a cool start from them though on Shopify, where you have Saberlight going first to try and he wanted to grant division, right? Going on another support forces Mira's hand to protect Miposhka, and then instantly, as soon as the banishment was there, it freed up Abed because he knew where the Shadow Demon was. So it's cool that he was the follow-up initiator of the Doom.
That's a nice way to kind of find the Shadow, because Shadow Demon's always going to be hiding. Like, you know, he's going to be playing around his vision, hiding in trees. You've got to kind of force, like a disruption save. Like you say, go on the other support, go on somebody to force Shadow Demon to use spells. And the second you see him, Abed has to change target. He could have initiated on Monkey King, whoever. The second Shadow Demon is spotted, jump him. That really needs to be the game plan.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Oh no. Awkward bet.
Oh my god.
No, this is so funny. They're so close to finishing road. Well, now they get the refresher instead, right?
They even waited. I mean,
I don't know if that's
wasn't
intentional,
hitting
but yeah, maybe. They wanted refresher instead of the axe.
Immortality
Oh, I
is
mean,
mine.
Storm Ags is incredibly strong.
Yeah.
It looked like they kind of did wait though, so maybe they have more value on the refresher. Who'd they give it to?
Was it Sven?
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, the double BKB, double Satanic. Not sure. Yeah, I think that, like you say, the Ag Scepter on the Storm seems pretty damn nice.
One big item though completed from Spirit is just Miposhka Scepter. It's now you've got a second life to work with though on Abed, so if he gets caught out, at least you're going to be able to trade ultimate for ages. But he could. It's not going to be easy because Shopify can easily set up a formation where multiple people aren't going to get caught. But there is that potential now for Spirit at least.
Yeah, they've got, you know, a tool that can flip a team fight on its head. If you get that Aghanim's Static Storm on a key target, you get a Sven or something before BKBs. The issue is, you know, Arteezy's always trying to, you know, play around. He's going to blink in always.
Small pop just with a hike on Arteezy's still able to jump. And the BKB is going to be expended from low. Arteezy's still chunking him down though.
Radiant's top tower is
They
under
want to take the fight. They've got a pretty good high ground ward, but not with Law's BKB expended.
God Strength pop, but at the end of the world, Arteezy's hit level 25 too, so it gets even more God Strength damage. Plus 50%. It's going to give him a lot of good late game scaling.
The fly? A little bit isolated for the moment. No way.
With the shard.
Tori should be able to kill him. Yeah, there we go. No one else wanted to help out as well. So 50 seconds of a little bit of peace here from Spirit.
Well, you're saying, you know, we've had some one-side games. Like, this game is Shopify favorite, but we're going late game, and it still feels like it's winnable for Spirit. I mean, it definitely is winnable for Spirit.
I do not.
Actually, that Ag shot on Underlord is not really a big item to potentially help turn this one around. As we see Shopify, they'll put theirs on techies as well. How does this do?
5 reworks later, who knows?
Radiant are scanning.
Taser on allies. Okay, deals damage to anyone who attacks him, so you can just pop that on your Sven or Storm, or whoever's getting gone on, you just pop the taser on them.
Some as well is going to be pretty huge versus the Monkey or the Shadow Fiend, so shall see how that's able to come into play. So 2 minutes left on the Aegis here from Shopify, so that slight kill. So time a little bit wasted there with that fly death, but they've still got plenty of time to look to work with.
They're really trying to play around this bottom part of the map.
Whoa, hold on, miss.
Around that Tormenta area, but it's already been taken by Spirit, so they don't want anything to do with it. They're just hoping to maybe stall out this Aegis. A minute and a half where they just have to play a little bit more carefully and passively in their own base. And stick as 5, but once that Aegis expires, could very well see Spirit look to make their next big move.
They've got some pretty good wards across the map on Spirit still. Spirit is holding that gem, but there's a ward underneath the mid lane. It's kind of next to the river. That could give them a lot of information for a potential fight. Looks like Crit's probably going to be able to de-ward it shortly with his position though. Okay, so never mind. They won't have... Hello. Okay, never mind.
Illusion?
I mean, Vision's everything now at this stage of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Initiation, protect the supports. They still have that cliff ward as well from Spirit to work with to the northern side of the map. So the fact that these wards are standing, I mean, it could just be that 1-2% they need here from Spirit at some of the late game fights.
Glorious thanks.
Having a bit of extra vision, helping your Shadow Demon position a little bit better. Speaking of Shadow Demon, just getting more and more late game items. The Aether Lens, the Glimmer Cape for survivability.
Oh!
Mirror's absolutely massive.
Oh, that's a big... Oh, okay. The post of the use of the Trickster's Cloak that forces out an early BKB, but they're going to be on top below. And Ishbrim from Hero protection. This is looking like a pretty good start to the fight for Spirit. Requiem, everything dropped onto Saberlight. That's his dieback from prior as well for dead for 110 seconds, and they're hunting for more. Still another 15 seconds for the Aegis to help. It comes up before the BKB, and look at the kiting. It's perfect from Spirit. They can go back in afterwards. The Aghanim Scepter from a Poshka onto 2. Yatori's pummeling into the Sven. One fight is all they needed. What a kiting. In and out. Spirit go. And the supports, they were ever so vital to that team fight success.
Here I am.
Luckily, Storm with the regen rune able to get the hell out of dodge, but what an insane fight for them. They just read Shopify so well. Like, they were chasing, and they read that, you know, Storm and Sven were going to turn around on them because they, right before Shopify kind of like, you know, faked back and dove in, they were like, okay, let's stop chasing a little bit, reposition, and suddenly this Sven BKB's in, Storm zips in, and they just find nobody. They're just completely blind there. That's kind of emphasizing again like how important it is to play around your vision, because without it, it makes it so much harder to get these clean initiations.
Middle tower is under attack.
And that was the thing, both jumps for Arteezy were not clean. The Truce of Close from a post on the God Strength, and then the Helbert just as soon as the BKB was going off. So really the first fight we've seen Team Spirit be able to come out on top. Still got to be pretty cautious though. I'm not going to mess around. I mean, that level 25 from Vittoria gives him so much control.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Pop it, give yourself a lane of racks here. They probably know at this point Sven doesn't really want to buy back with 25 seconds left. You're better off probably just giving up that first lane of racks here and defending your other side lanes here.
Push is getting a little bit scary now though.
Radiant's middle barracks is falling.
See if they're going to be able to hold them inside the base. The slows are making them work for this retreat. Baron might need to purge it off. The respawns are coming up. Sablehead's back alive. Another round of the Doom. How can they protect the Underlord? They're going to cover it directly. Wild turn. Saberlight. He gets blown up in the Abed as well. He's got Arteezy to play hand in hand. They're going to try and turn to Yatori, but Yatori's standing strong. But the BKB's expended from other side. Crit wants to jump back in. A double stun to set up for the damage from Arteezy, but once again, a Helbert. It's stopping all the right click damage, but it might not matter. Mal caught inside the fight, but they haven't addressed Yatoru until the Hex comes out at the last second from Abed. Down goes the Monkey King. Collapses in trouble now as well. He's looking for the turnaround. Recognizes there's no escape. Stand and fight. Nothing else he can do. He'll make it work for the kill. He might even get fly as well. It's a lot of damage out of the Underlord, but it's not enough to bring some of the Shopify members into the grave with him.
What a fight. Such a back and forth roller coaster of a game. Spirit get the racks, but get heavily punished for it. Getting chased down there. Full team wipe going Shopify's way. Just so much damage coming out all across the board. Crystal Maiden does 8,000 damage, more than anyone else in that fight. Like, that is insane. Just from, like, spamming some nukes and, like, getting a pretty good freezing build off. Like, some great chasing potential to punish Spirit for just overstaying their welcome, pushing a little bit too far with some of their key spells and key items, their BKBs on cooldown. And this game's still far from over. One lane of racks at this point, not going to be a major difference maker. It's going to come down to things like next Roshan and like these late game buybacks.
I don't know, man. Spirit might have some PTSD from these Roche fights. So. It's been where things have gone wrong for them. So maybe fourth time is the charm.
Look, hear me out. Fourth time, just give him Roshan. It's not working. We play better elsewhere. Like let's give him Roche. It's fine.
He needs that extra ages. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Necessary. Where's the gem actually? Let's... Crit still got one? Okay, still no gem on Dire. So...
Yep.
I think another big item that's being worked on is the refresher on your Toro, but he's very far away from it though. But we see how vital the Wukongs are inside the fights. That is a big protection of the supports as well, where they can group up around it. And it's seeming like Arteezy can't man fight into the Wukongs as well, so we really got to keep tabs on if your Toro has this ultimate up or not.
Yeah, it's more and more this Monkey King is becoming a true late game carry. The Harpoon giving some extra mobility, and yeah, more or less 6-slotted at this point, so see if we can get to that refresher or sometime soon, because that would be a nice upgrade to TSpirit's late game.
I know where they are with the bombs going off. Roche is gonna spawn top side, but then move over to bottom, so unfortunate for Spirit that they already placed the ward down, and look at the read from Shopify. They're already starting to move bottom, so they'll probably be the first team set up.
That's exact.
Unless they can take it in 4 seconds. This is...
Huzzah!
Uh-oh. They're rifting bottom as well. Okay,
yep.
Wait, you can block Roche with... Okay, very interesting. They're under vision though with the creeps. This is pretty scary still for Spirit. Well, it's going to be the first point of contact potentially with the Shadow Fiend up forward. Is this the person you want to try and bring down though from Shopify? They're very hesitant.
Yeah, we'll see if Spirit do in response here. They 5-man smoke up themselves. I believe that was under an observer ward, so...
Hey, bar. Smoke pops.
Yep.
I was going to stand strong. They might get Abed inside the tree line. The Taurus starts to get the fall. What? They got Piccadilly off. Abed turns to deal with the supports now as well. They should be able to blow them up with Arteezy jumping into the middle. It's up to the cause now on the side of Spirit to turn the fight around, but look at the call. Shopify, they'll reset out of the Wukong's command, dancing in and out of the fight. It's ever so beautiful. There's just nothing left in the tank as soon as the ultimates were expended, and they got nothing out of it. It was all Shopify's fight to take.
Yeah, they thought they had to jump on the storm, so I'm not entirely sure, but that Aghanim's Doom, the self-doom and Blinken may have just saved Abed there, like stopped kind of follow-up spells being cast there. It kind of helped bail him out, created a little buffer for him to, you know, reset, zip out, come back in to do a ton of damage, and just in the end, you know, whoever gets jumped, if they stay alive somehow, it sets up things so well for heroes like the Sven to kind of jump in and counterplay it.
That was a big opening. Spirit just weren't able to hold Abed into place, and that's probably game. You're not playing with buybacks.
See the glyph and back off a little bit, but it looks like they want, yes, they're going to commit to these tier 4s. They forced out the first buyback on the Shadow Fiend. Disruptor only 7 seconds away, so if they see that, you know, maybe, you know, we force out one buyback, we probably can't end the game here. Let's get at least one lane and just call it a day for now.
Huge hit to the net worth. On the lake. He's just going to go for the dive back. Oh, Lyle steps up too far. Arteezy's still in their base.
Well. Read him like a book there, knowing he'd, you know, not even like come out that far. It's just like, okay, this guy's going to want to like start pushing out this bottom lane. We've got the super creeps there. But the double jump of the Storm and the Sven were completely and utterly ready for it. They've even got the Scythe of Vice on the Storm Spirit for that extra lockdown. And it just makes life so difficult for anyone on Spirit to ever be farming a lane by themselves when Shopify had this much kill threat and damage.
No chance for Spirit to be able to contest Roche. It's just up to them now to get the lanes out. Get top, mid, and shoved out, so maybe you can address this bottom wave so you can play with backdoor protection, because you need to stall this game out for 70 seconds now without the Shadow Fiend, and you know Shopify are going to come knocking.
Yeah. This was just a small little detour before they go for that maybe game-ending, game-winning push. Get themselves a free cheese, free Aghanims as well, so even more net worth and more items to give themselves a bigger chance here.
Fly got the Aghanim Scepter, so we've got even further upgraded the freezing field now.
Oh!
She's level 23 as well.
You know, we're seeing this more and more. Late game supports and they're scaling. Both Radiant supports ahead of the Underlord, who was the #1 net worth hero in the early game, but some point the
Not
ability.
again.
Yeah. Oh no.
Come on, no, Maposhka. Alright, using the tricks is close. Aggressive jump in from Abed, and look who he caught! Monkey as well inside the Doom. There's going to be no Wukongs to keep him alive, but that's where the banishment's able to come into play. Gonna get back to safety though, Yatoro trying to reposition on the outskirts. He'll have an opportunity to try and play around with the Wukong's command. They should be able to get the kill onto Sableye as a result to this, but Abed is gonna go back in, activates a refresher, another round of the BKB. Abed's falling pretty low though. Gonna be forced to retreat, but RTZ doesn't want to jump out. Requiem charged up on top of the static storm. Lyle's trying to stand strong, but they're just too far behind. Thrones exposed, only a couple of buybacks to work with. Spirit, that's 3v5. Are they going to be able to do it without their ultimates as well? The creeps beating onto the base, but the heroes are falling low inside the Firestorm. Crit might go down. Yatoro's going to jump on forward, but he misses the Boundless. Crit's able to reposition. And another jump in. Crit is just toying with him right now. The cores aren't there. Crit, boys.
Okay.
We're outside the base. What are we doing? They can buy back. They'll go again.
Yeah, I think they're just going to go for the throne even. It's at half health here. 2 heroes dead, including the SF. They may want to make a little detour for this mid lane, but yeah, committing all these buybacks does put them in a position where, you know, key heroes die here without buyback. The game could swing, which is where they'll probably play things pretty cautiously here, but 5v3 for a potential throne should be game over.
See,
5v4
is really the big thing. That's what you're looking for out of Monkey King. Back up. Oh, is this? Oh, Sableye, another jump. Hero's going to be on the outskirts to potentially protect him. Wukong as well lay it down from Yatoro as well. They're going to try and help the Doom get out of range. It's a great Static Storm off on the right side, but no one's there to follow up. Static Storm to no avail. And now once again with the ultimates all on cooldown, RTZ is just going to go for the throne. With the BKB and the God Strength activated, there's nothing they can do to pull his attention away from the buildings, is there?
The creeps
for a second, but it's not going to matter. The creeps inside the base, and